Welcome to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's 12 o'clock on Friday, November 3rd, and Halloween is over. Already we're getting ready for the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that great stuff, folks. Hope you're having a, excuse me, hope you're having a great day, folks. We have a great show lined up for you today. My co-host coming in a couple minutes, my good friend, funny man, Matt Cassane, will be joining us for the whole hour. We're going to talk about his big show coming up on November 19th at the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles. And he'll be doing a show with Christian Rose Kelly, another great Chicagoland entertainer. 4 to 7, $20 to get you in. Go to moonlighttheater.com to see my buddy Christian and Matt Cassane. All right, guys, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609. And every show is dedicated to the first responders. Mostly, it's dedicated to people like you who take the time and watch it on your lunch hour, Ocean's Pit, or if you watch it any other time on all 5 different social media outlets. You're watching it on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on the Mo Carrara Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. We're on X, formerly Twitter, and we're on the Ocean's Pit Facebook page. So no matter how you're watching us, we thank you so much, everybody. Now, let's get right to the nitty-gritty, folks. We're talking about Ace Hardware. They are our main sponsors right there in Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park in Warrenville. Buy local, shop local. Ace is the place, and they got some great deals going on, folks. Now, don't forget your gift. Don't have to wait first for your first snowfall to receive your snowblower. They will offer a small engine repair, tune-ups at all their locations. Tune-up in a single-stage snowblower is just $105 plus parts. That's right, folks. You can't beat that, folks. Also, in November, they're waiving the $20 Dynastics fee. So, they check it out, see what's wrong with it. They usually charge you for that before they actually fix the problem. Well, they're going to waive that charge. It's only going to cost you $105 plus parts for your snowblower, folks. So you got to love that, though. Check out their holiday displays, lights, blow-ups, yard decor, and so much more. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. Don't forget, free $10 Ace gift card when you buy a $50 Ace gift card between November 24th and November 26th. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Ace has been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. And we got more stuff happening with Ace. Let's get right to our next sponsors, folks, because that's what makes the show. I love it when I get the sponsors here, folks, and I really appreciate them guys every year renewing their lease with us. And, of course, let's get right down to Deutsch Power Center, baby, right here. They're right out of Elgin, Illinois, servicing the construction and diesel industry. That's 224-276-6550. That's Deutsch Power Center. Say my buddy Sal. Fantastic what he does. Roy McCampbell, attorney at law. If you're looking for a great lawyer, Roy McCampbell is the guy. McCampbell at Law, statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. That's right, Roy McCampbell, 708-275-4024. Let's not forget my wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions, increasing profits while reducing credit card fees. You'll never have to shop again with Laura Ocean Solutions. And let's try Don Esteban Cigars out of Tarpon Springs, Florida. Hand-rolled. Javier will send these babies or any other ones that you like from Tarpon Springs, Florida, directly to your home. Perfect for stocking stuffers. Perfect for the holiday season. Call Javier. Tell him Tony O sent you at 727-366-7536. And try Co-Hair Experts out of Rosemont, Illinois, recreating great hair days. Forget the comb-overs and the sprays and the hats. It's Try Co-Hair Experts. Anthony and Carmela do a great job. 773-999-7888. All right, so we got a great day, and we want to thank you all for watching the show today. We got a nice hour of fun. So before we bring Matt on to be a co-host with us, let's see what we got. Dominic is in the house. Ryan Lewis, Kathy, we have Santa Barbara. Emil, Florida is watching. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Sandra Argento, Oconomowoc, Wisconsin is in the house. Mary Tark, Kathy, how are you doing? Albert from the Ronald Esty organization. Lori Stevens in the house. Kathy Lazara, Richard Double T, Tony Toe. Oh, you guys are the best, all you guys. I appreciate it all very much for watching the show. And again, I just did what my wife did yesterday. You push the button there, and God, I hate when that happens. Anyway, we're all here. So thank you guys so much. I want to get right to thanking everybody who showed up yesterday to Zaza's in Lake Barrington. Jeff Dubray and myself, along with the general, was there. Thank you so much. Dave Zamel, Jay, thank you guys for showing up. Cousin Tommy. And I want to thank a special happy birthday to former Chicago Bear, Honey Bear, our good friend Patrice. She was there celebrating her birthday, and it was great to see her. And she's just great barrel of fun. She's a great girl, great lady. Got some great stories. I think she's got a big thing coming up this Sunday in Palatine, where all the former Chicago Honey Bears will be signing her brand new book. I think on the field or off the field, off the sidelines or something like that. There it is. Thanks for the great. Well, thank you, Patrice. There she is. Lucille, how you doing? Robert, how you doing, my friend? All right, now tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse, 8 o'clock with the return of Jerry Jams Renda, and that's an 8 o'clock hit. And then, of course, we will be Saturday night. I have a night off because I'm going to a wedding with my lovely wife and family. So congratulations, our good friend James Hafer getting married. We're excited about that. Okay, a lot of stuff to talk about, but let's bring up our co-host. My man, this guy here, I've known Matt Hussein 30 years plus. Started up and loving Cheap Trick, and we still love Cheap Trick. And Matt's opened for me for many times, a lot of different shows. He directed some of my music promo at the Park West Theater we did in 2000. We've done a lot of great shows together. He's done so much, and he just keeps knocking it dead between TV appearances and small budget films and commercials and doing his stand-up and his absolutely entertainment company that's always doing very well. Let's bring up my co-host for the whole hour today, Mr. Matt Hussein.
Hey, guys.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. You're looking very sharp. What's going on with you?
Oh, I got my new Farley shirt.
There you go. How is the Chris Farley business?
Look at that.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
No, the funny story about the shirt, Tone, is that they started selling these on the internet a few years ago, illegally, by the way, I might add. And they took this picture right there.
Uh-huh.
They took that picture, not realizing that it was me.
Ha! You gotta be kidding me. That's what I go saying, man. It looks just like you, man. There it is. It's your impression of the great comic genius Chris Farley.
Yeah, that's me doing Matt Foley like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but you know what? You've been doing that for a long time, Matt. You know what? And you did tell me, didn't the family hear about your impersonation? And does the family know something? His brother?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, I mean, I reached out to Kevin and Tom years ago, back when I was doing like appearances on WGN, because I knew it was going to get back to him one way or another.
Right.
And then, of course, last year you had Tom Farley on your show.
Right.
And we got the blessing, and of course, going back to 2019, I was interviewed for the Chris Farley biography on A&E. Yeah. So I think everybody's cool with it. I hope. And then I did when we did the interview for the A&E biography, they actually brought me down to Second City, brought me on the main stage, and I did the Matt Foley skit at Second City. So I think we're cool. I think we're good.
I think it's good too, man, because you're still doing it. What's the audience response, Matt, when you're doing that?
It's good, man. I have a lot of fun. The funny thing about it is it's coming up. This is November. Now, last November on Black Friday, Nick Sayhadjis, our good friend who does the Chicago's very own Piano Man show, he does this tribute to Billy Joel. He had me come out in the middle of the show dressed up as Chris Farley Santa Claus. So I'm up there like, oh, rum-ba-bum. Boom! The crowd went nuts. I was worried. I didn't know if the crowd was going to buy it, but man, they loved it. They went crazy. So, but yeah, that was a blast. I always have a great time performing at the Arcada Theater for Mr. Onesti.
Yeah, anything with Ron does a good job. You know what, man? I'm glad that you do. We've been knowing each other a long time, man. I remember just seeing a picture of Cheap Trick in Rockford when we went to go see him, and I remember we got up and Dream Police got to play up there with Rick and Bunny, and I remember it was me, you, and your cousin John Davey, by the way, who watches the show. Yeah. John, you're watching. How you doing? I think we went to go see Cheap Trick, right? I forgot what year it was. Maybe 97, 6, or I forgot exactly, but it was like a festival in Aurora, and there was maybe like 25 people there. If you remember, it was right when the doctor came out. Remember, it was like, and we were like going crazy because we love Cheap Trick, so it was just like, and it's amazing how they're turned around and they made the Hall of Fame and everything like that. But we had some good times, brother.
We did, man. You guys, of course, I love the Dream Police.
Yeah.
Every time you and Tommy and Bill and Mark Sheely and Nick go out, man, I'm always there. I'm always there watching you guys and cheering you on. It's a great show. I love when you guys do the Dream Police and you do your Cheap Trick cover, man. That's awesome.
There you go. While you're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. Let's get right to another sponsor, folks. Armando Supermarkets. That's right, 925 Liberty Street. Buy local, shop local. And Danny Maggi saying, Matt still owes me $10. Okay, there you go, Danny. Armando Supermarkets. And let's not forget Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. Mike and Gigi know how to do their stuff. Matt Kassane with us. Matt, you got a big show coming up November 19th. You and Kristen Rose Kelly, which we've had on the show. She's an entertainer in the Chicagoland area, a lot of her own original music and stuff. You're going to be at the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles on Sunday, November 19th. It's a $20 cover charge from 4 to 7. Moonlighttheater.com. What's that going to be about? What are you going to be doing there, Matt?
Well, Kristen is an awesome singer-songwriter. She has put together an amazing band. She's got, like 4 or 5 guys that back her up, and she does her own songs and she does covers. So I strongly suggest, if you got nothing going on that day, and I think I checked, the Bears are on at noon that day, so you have plenty of time to watch the Bears. They finish up around 3 o'clock, shoot out to St. Charles, go watch Kristen Rose Kelly at 4 o'clock. You be there for a few hours, then head across the street and go see a show at the Arcada.
There you go. And you can kick 2 birds at one stone. Absolutely.
There you go.
You got to love it, Matt. Matt Kassane, happy belated birthday to you. What did you do on your birthday, Matt?
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Oh, I just what did I do? I don't remember. I think my daughter took me out, and I think I had some chicken wings or something. Yeah. So nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
Matt, I know with all your stand-up stuff, and you've been in comedy for a long, long time. Where do you see comedy going? I mean, to me, I just don't see the kick and the new talent. I just don't see it, or you don't hear from them that much because I don't think the avenues are there. What's changed in comedy in the last 10, 15 years, in your opinion?
I was talking about this the other day with a good friend of mine who's a pretty well-known guy in the entertainment industry, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, some of these guys are so driven to get on Netflix and have their own special, and what they don't realize is that when they do that, everybody sees their special, and then when they go see him in the comedy club, they're watching the whole thing all over again. And I think that might be a little bit too repetitive. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just slow down, do one or 2 specials. Like some of these guys have a new special like every couple of months,
Yeah, then it's no big deal anymore. But you know what? I just don't see the comic geniuses anymore. There's never going to be another Richard Pryor. There's never going to be another. I just don't see it. I just see a lot of copying. Or am I crazy?
No, you're right, man. The golden age of comedy probably was like late 60s through the 70s, all the way up to like Eddie Murphy era. There's still some funny dudes out there. I mean, Jim Gaffigan's still going, and he's a funny guy, and he's doing a show with Jerry Seinfeld. They're doing a show together at the United Center. So I mean, right there, that's 2 for 1. You can't beat that deal.
No, and I was just seeing up in the news in December, they were talking about Lenny Bruce. Now, at the time, a comic genius, and I seen the movie that Dustin Hoffman played him. I thought he did a great job with that. But he was arrested, I don't know how many times, just for swearing on stage. And it's almost like what's happening now in these days. I mean, they were using racist jokes or swear words or sexual innuendos when he was talking on doing his shows. But now you can't say shit anymore for a comic. It's got to be very difficult. I mean, unless you're doing like a 12 o'clock show, you can say whatever the hell you want on those comedy clubs, right?
Yeah,
It's got to be much harder to be a comic these days.
Yeah, I try to keep my comedy really light, man. I don't get too political or too social, and I just try to be wacky. Do some goofy impersonations, and do my Farley and I do a little bit of the Donald. This is going to be a huge show at the Moonlight Theater. Everyone's going to be there. Chachi's going to be there. Did you know that? I'm friends with Chachi. It's going to be
Yeah,
huge.
it's going to be
And
huge.
by the way, I want to give a shout out. You said Danny Mazie. I went to high school with that guy.
I know Danny Mays. I saw Matt's first performance at Michael's Magic Touch in Lions. So now we're bringing back there. Danny Mazzy bringing back Dean. How you doing? Susan Jambroni. Let's say hello
Wait,
to Indiana. That's
he
pretty
saw
funny.
me. He saw me at the place in Lions.
Yeah, that's what he said. I first saw him at the Michael's Magic Touch in Lions. Michael's Magic Touch sounds like a strip joint or massage parlor. Michael's Magic Touch. Oh,
I think I may have gone there as a customer. I don't know if I was a comic there.
there you go. Okay, well, there you go. Speaking of iffy situations when you do your Trump, I know you do an incredible impersonation of Donald Trump. And I know you did it for my mother, and my mother was very happy. And people who watch my show know I'm a Trumper, and most of the people that watch my show are Trumpers as well. But do you get a lot of shit? Now, you get a lot of calls for that, man?
I do, yeah. As a matter of fact, I did a trade show over this past summer, down at McCormick Place for the Welders Convention. It was called Fab Tech. And dude, they have this whole underground life of the welders, and man, they have their own TV show on Netflix. It's called Metal Wars or something. And man, I had a lot of fun. There were so many people coming up to me, but there were a few guys that knew me, and they were yelling out, "Hey, I thought you were supposed to live in a van down by the river," that whole thing. But it went really well. I had a lot of fun. They were great people.
Now, when people hire you, they want you because obviously they're Trumpers, right? That's why they're inviting you. But have you ever gotten any shit from doing it at somebody's party who hired you? Do you get any after shit afterwards? Someone coming up to you and saying, "Why? How dare you?" Blah blah blah.
All the time, man. It's a very divided crowd, no matter what I do. But it's always exciting. It's never boring, and it's fun. It's fun to try to win over the crowd that doesn't like Trump. Some of them just don't want anything to do with you, man. They won't come anywhere near you, no matter how hard you try to make them laugh.
Right.
They just won't. And there's people that have come up to me and they're like, "President Trump, can I take a picture with you?" I did an outdoor show in Joliet a few years ago. And I was like, "Sure, come on over." And I looked at the picture and she was giving me the finger.
Oh yeah. You see, and you know what? It's just crazy. So what I'm trying to ask you, Matt, what happens if better yet, when he becomes president again in 2024, are these people going to leave the country? Because Whoopi's still here, Barbara Streisand's still here, Joy Behar is here. They're still all still here. So we're going to have to see what happens on that. But I love
something. You know something, Tony? I just want to put it out there right now. I'm going to put it out there right now for the first time ever. This is going to be my campaign slogan for 2024. It's going to be huge. Here it is. In 2024, Biden will be hiding. There you go. That's huge. It's huge.
It's fantastic. But you know what? And when those people that give you a hard time when you're doing your show, when you're at a party that was hired, when you were hired to be there, it wasn't like you just stood up and started doing them. These are people that are hiring you, and then you get these people that still give you a hard time, which to me is disrespectful to the person who hired you. Whether it's a private party, right? You got to say, hey, don't argue with me. Talk to the guy who hired me, right?
That's right.
All right.
I try to explain to him, look, politics aside, you realize I'm not really Trump. Okay, you realize I'm just the guy.
You're doing a joke.
I'm wearing a wig. I'm wearing a wig.
It's a wig. Matt Cassane is on there, folks. My good friend here. Let's get to some stuff. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers, won the World Series. Are you a baseball guy, Matt?
Of course, man. I was happy. I think it was their first World Series.
I was happy for them, too. Let's get down, guys. Also, guys who drive Toyotas. Let's see, the RAV4 or the SUVs. Toyota's recalling 1.85 million of these cars because of electrical fires. So you might want to get that if you guys are driving Toyotas. Interesting stuff there today. It's November, folks. So it's November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and it's very, very important for people. That's a horrible disease to people to have, and It's very, very important. Let's get to some other stuff. Matt, do you ever remember walking to school as a kid? Did you walk to school as a kid ever?
Yeah, man, I did. I walked to school a lot when I was a kid. And I know this is going to sound so cliche, but when I was a little kid, like in third and fourth grade, we actually had to walk up a hill to the school. I'm not kidding. We had to walk up a hill. It was like just like they say back in the old days. I had to walk up a hill 6 miles one way in the snow with no shoes on. Yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you, how far were you? What school did you go to?
I went to 5 different grade schools, man. So the school that I'm talking about right now is local. It was in Lombard. It was called High Ridge School. Unfortunately, it's no longer there. It was right across the street from Willowbrook High School in Villa Park.
Very, very cool. I mean, you hear that story. Remember your parents or your grandparents? Oh, snow. What snow? We used to walk 50 miles, 7 inches of snow through the rain and, up the mountains. Yeah, I got it. I used to be in Elmwood Park, and I used to have to walk down Thatcher. You have to go down that winding road all the way to the other side to get to the high school. So I had to do that a lot of times myself. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. We're just talking about different stuff here. Do you see the pricings of Netflix and Hulu going up, Matt? I think it's time. And I find out that I think Disney is going to buy Comcast from what I'm hearing and Hulu from what I'm hearing. But
Really?
with the price that's going up with this stuff, I think it's time to dust off the DVD players again.
Yeah.
I still watch DVDs. Do you?
I have a bunch, man. Oh, yeah. I love DVDs. They're great. I really like them.
I do too, man. We talked yesterday on the phone briefly about the new Get Gotti on Netflix. A couple of my friends actually seen it. I have not seen it yet. It's pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I mean, there's really probably not much more you can actually say about the guy. There's been books, there's been documentaries, there's been movies. I'm interested to see if there's anything new.
Yeah, I got rid of my Netflix. I never watched it, and I found myself watching more YouTube than anything. But what is with the Gotti, Kid Gotti? Is that a documentary style?
I guess so. My good buddy Dakota from Las Vegas, Nev. He plays in the Sinatra show out there. Dakota, how you doing, buddy? He said he watched the first half so far. It was pretty good. One of our very good friends watching, Ellie Weinhardt, is watching, folks. Number one Joan Rivers impersonator. Also, she was in the movie A League of Her Own. A great actress. She also does Lucille Ball and is a great comic as well. Ellie, how you doing, my dear friend? Angelo's saying hello from Steubenville, Ohio. Angelo, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to Ocean's Pit. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. All right. A couple other things to talk. Let's get some more. The new Beatles song, Now and Then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. And I was excited, but I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it.
It's one of those songs that John did as a solo artist, and Yoko found the tape and gave it to Paul, and Paul and Ringo play on it, and I gave it a few spins. I'm not going to lie to you; it is a little sad. And then today they put out the video for it.
The video looks really cool. I seen the video this morning. They did a great job with that. I thought that
the video was amazing, but I swear to God, I did not see this coming. I put it on, I'm watching it, and it just tore me apart emotionally, man. I don't know what it was. It's like they're saying it's the last Beatles song we're ever going to get, and who knows how much longer. These guys are not getting any younger,
You're right.
Ringo's going to be 84 years old next year,
And just new Ringo, there's a new CD to give it to me.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Yeah, you gotta love Ringo, man. This guy's just the best. And Paul, I was never a big Paul fan, but you know what? It was just great seeing some old footage of George Harrison too, which I thought was very cool. Because they had the song, from what I hear, they had the song originally in Anthology when they did it back with Jeff Lynne producing, but George Harrison thought it was rubbish.
Yes, that's right.
I thought it was rubbish, it's a piece of garbage, or whatever he would say. And but you know what? It is the last Beatles song with John, and I love John, and it was very cool. So it's very nice. Eric Todd, have Matt tell the story about driving the Cheap Trick gig with Eric Todd. You got a short story on that one?
The trip. I think he's referring to the time I'll tell a brief version of it. The time that I had to pick up Robin Zander at Midway Airport. He flew in from Florida to do a show in Bettendorf, Iowa. And not all the Cheap Trick guys live in the Illinois anymore. I don't know if you know that or not. I think Rick and Bunny still do, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we drove from Midway to Rockford. We picked up Rick Nielsen. We got to Rick's house, and I told those guys, "Hey, I think my brakes are really bad. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way to Bettendorf." We were early. We were like really early. It's like, can I just run to town, go to the brake dudes over there and get some new brakes?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, go ahead. And it'll take like an hour and a half. So I get to the brake place. And but before I leave Rick's house, Robin Zander asks if he could come with. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. You can come with me. I mean, I'm just going to go get my brakes. I think he thought that I was going to ditch him. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we get to the brake place, and the guy's like, yeah, this will take about 45 minutes to an hour. So you guys go ahead and do whatever you got to do. Walk around beautiful downtown scenic Rockford.
Oh, yes.
And
there's a lot to see there.
we went to Mr. Beef. We got some lunch, and then we still had like 30 or 40 minutes to kill. We're just walking around. We spotted an old bowling alley in downtown Rockford. Don't even know if the place is open. Head in there, bowl a couple of games. I still got the score sheet to this day. I was like, Robin, no one's gonna ever believe me. Can I keep the score sheet?
Yeah,
he was like, go for it.
You sent me a copy of it. I do remember that. It's very, very cool.
But I'll tell you, man, it couldn't have been nicer. Both the guys, Rick and Robin, in my Chevy Cavalier. This is 1996. Rick Nielsen's in the back seat. We get in the car. We head out the driveway. We get out to the downtown area of Rockford to get on the highway. And Rick goes to me, "Do you know where you're going?" And I'm like, "No, I've never been to Bettendorf, Iowa before." I go, "I thought you guys knew how to get there." And he goes, "Do you have a map?" I go, I got a city of Chicago street map. That's all I got." And so he remembered how to get there because they had played in Bettendorf since like the 70s, you know. So yeah.
Bettendorf. Oh yeah. Well, that's a great story, man. I love it. That's right. Jeff Hunt is watching. Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to Ocean Spit. 64 more days to the cruise. Mary's watching. You know what cruise we're talking about, folks. January 7th to January 14th, 2024, Chicago Music Cruise. 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise. Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. Florida. Coco Key, Bahamas, St. Martin, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's going to be Tony Ocean, the main event band, Mojo's Jukebox, and the ringleaders themselves, the world-renowned Seventh Heaven. It's going to happen January 7th, January 14th. Get a hold of Mary at mtdvacations.com for any last-minute questions. But you're right, 64 more days for that cruise. 2 nights Tony Ocean show and 2 nights Mojo's, and I think it's 3 or 4 nights Seventh Heaven. So I'm looking forward to that very much. You're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things, folks. How about this? We did talk about baseball for a little bit. San Diego Padres was doing so bad, Matt, that they had to get a loan to help cover payroll. They took a loan of $50 million to cover the payroll. Now, I know the team stinks, but San Diego is beautiful. Just that stadium alone is worth it. But to have to borrow to pay the players, $50 million they have to borrow. Is that crazy?
Well, I don't know. I know that back in the day, like in the 70s and the 80s, the Kroc family, Ray Kroc, who owns McDonald's, he owned the Padres, and then when he passed away, his wife took it over. But I have no idea who's in charge over there anymore.
Yeah, it's a little nutty. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I never heard of you know what? The salaries that these guys are making, my God, $50 million. You know, and that had to pay payroll. So that's just crazy stuff here. We're hearing everything, folks. Alan Ruck, he's in the news. He was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off with what's his name?
Cameron. Who's Cameron?
He crashed into a pizza store, Raffaello Pizza. He crashed into the building. I don't know if he was drunk. You ever notice that sometimes they're big at one time. Ferris Bueller was probably one of the biggest movies when it first came out, and then they don't do anything, right? It's got to be very difficult to get typecast like that, right?
It's gotta be, when you're that high up on the entertainment mountain and you come down, man, and you crash. It's gotta be right. I'll tell you another funny quick story.
Yeah.
About 20 years ago, I was over at my brother Pat's house. He was having a birthday party for his little kids,
Uh-huh.
and they had me come out and do my little DJ show for the kids and play the hula hoops and all that stuff. And so I'm setting up my equipment. And my brother says to his son, Kevin, he goes, Kevin, did you invite the kids across the street? And Kevin's like, no. And he was like 5 or 6 years old. So Pat goes, all right, I'll go tell him to come. And so Pat goes, hey, Matt, you want to meet Leon Spinks? And I'm like, sure. Yeah, okay. So we walk across. This is Lombard. We walk across the street. Leon Spinks is hanging out in the backyard with his little nephews.
Leon Spinks, former world champion who beat Muhammad Ali.
So he goes, Pat goes, hey, Leon, we're having a party for Kevin. Come on over, bring the kids. Leon's like, all right, man, I'll come. So he, gets all dressed up and he comes over to the party. And I'm doing the announcements. I'm like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, former world champion of the world, give it up for Mr. Leon Spinks, And everybody's like cheering and stuff like that. And they're like, they're like kind of like me, like, why is Leon Spinks here? But it's cool. It's all good. And so like a couple more minutes, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know it or not, but Leon Spinks is in the house. So Leon Spinks is, it's like after the second or third one, I think he's getting a little tired of it, And so like he comes over and he stands right next to me behind the DJ booth. And I'm just like, hey, Leon, how you doing, man? And he's like this. He's crossing his hands like that. And I think that was his little like sign to me. It's like, okay, you can stop with the Leon Spinks stuff.
Yeah. I know I'm here. Yeah, you got some interesting stories. Hey, you want to buy a cemetery? Chapel Hill cemetery plots are unbelievable here, folks. $2,000 in Chapel Hill. You can't beat that. $2,000. Boy, I mean, you guys come up. This is stuff that makes headlines, folks, on social media.
We go from Leon Spinks to buying cemetery plots.
That's what I love about this show. It's like Ray Rayner. Remember, he kept looking at the different stuff on his shirt, just pull up stuff. I'm just going down my list here. How about CBS? According to CBS News, former Delta co-pilot arrested for trying to shoot the captain during a flight to Florida. If you noticed that in the last year or two, there's a lot of stories of stuff that's happening on airlines. People trying, what the hell's going on with this world, man? Is this crazy or what?
It's pretty nuts.
You can't make this.
What I think these kids need to do is stop rolling doobies.
I think, listen, if the doobies I don't think the doobies is the problem. I think whatever else they're taking. I mean, the doobies, if you're smoking pot, I don't know what the hell. There we go. Dennis from Lake Geneva said the average cost of a baseball game is $35. Okay.
That's on the low. That's on the low end, man.
That's on the low end. In San Diego. Buddy, what's going on, buddy? You doing Anthony Melchiotti? All the airlines were forced to get the jab. Oh yeah, the mighty jab. Ooh. Oh my God.
Hey, Anthony is doing a show, by the way, in December on December 15th at a new place at the Duck something. You know this place, Duck Lodge or something?
I'm not quite sure, but I know.
But it's going to be the Bill Hall Band and Tommy Burke's new band, the Triangle Park.
Okay, that's very cool to see Tommy and Anthony on. I love, Melchiotti's the best, man. You
got to give him a plug.
Anthony Melchiotti's the best. Not only is he a very intelligent guy for what he does for a living, but his posts are very intelligent. And when he says something, that you should look into it and read it because it's very important. He sends facts. He doesn't send a lot of bullshit out there. And he's an excellent songwriter and a good guy. Ocean Spit's in the house, folks. My good buddy Matt Cassane. You got to love it. Michael Jordan pissed off at his son because he's going out with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. What about
no?
Yes, and Michael says you're a grown man. Do what you're going to do as long as you're happy. I'm sure he's not happy.
Okay, let me just process this. This is Michael Jordan's son.
Correct.
Is dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Correct. No Pippen's ex-wife. Absolutely.
All right.
You can't make that up. You can't.
That's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Do you have anything else coming up except November 19th when you're opening the show at the Moonlight Theater? Peter Prados asked, when is Matt doing coming up? He's got November 19th. He's going to be at the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles, 4 to 7, opening for Christian Rose Kelly, $20. Check it out, moonlighttheater.com. Anything else where they can see you at, Matt, coming up?
No, but I got a quick story about Scottie Pippen, if I may. 2005, 2006 Chicago Bulls season, I was on the esteemed Matadors, as you know.
Uh-huh.
If you don't know what the Matadors are, just think of the Lovables, beautiful, gorgeous models coming out at halftime dancing. They got the beautiful outfits on. Well, the Matadors were like 15 or 20 Chris Farleys coming out and dancing. And at the end of every routine, we found it necessary to take our shirts off.
Well, you know what? Hey, well, it's a little bit, tons of fun for everybody. Everybody can enjoy, right?
We got to do Scottie Pippen's retirement game. So
okay.
At halftime, they retired Scottie's jersey. Now, this place was packed. There was not one empty seat, Tones. 25,000 people at the United Center.
Wow.
Jordan was there. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, their coach, Phil Jackson, the entire famous team from the 90s. Okay, they were all there for this. It was a big night. Scottie was there with his family. We go out and we do our Matadors routine, and our guy, Vito's a big Italian dude, very hairy back. Had a very hairy back, man. He shaved a bowl into his back hair, and then right before we went out, he had somebody make it even darker with mascara. Okay, he takes his shirt off. They focus the camera right on, put it up on the jumbotron. You see this giant guy with a bowl made out of back hair on the back of his back.
Oh, it's got to be very disgusting. Well, you know what? You got hey, anything to get a laugh, right? God bless you. Matt, famous for being part of the Matadors. Hey, another good friend watching us is entertainer Vince Amore watching us. Vince, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well. We got some shows coming up, folks. Let's not forget, November 8th, we'll be at Capri in Downers Grove at the Hilton Hotel. November 9th, we're making our debut at a brand new place called Eddie Merlot's in Warrenville, Naperville area with Jerry Jams and Louis Pipes. On New Year's Eve, we'll be at the Performing Arts Center in Munster, Indiana, with Ocean's Rat Pack. That's a 7:30 to 9. I'm excited about that. We'll be at the Lyric Theater December 9th for Ocean's Pack Christmas show, Ocean Rat Pack Christmas show. And February 24th, we'll be at Pier 290 in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin for a special Ocean's Rat Pack show. It's going to be great. We got some, they just finished. They filmed, I just watched a Hallmark movie, a Christmas movie. It was filmed actually in Long Grove, and it's called Reporting Christmas. Those Christmas things, man, they start those quick between the songs and the movies. You watch any of that stuff, man?
No, but I actually got to audition for a Lifetime Christmas movie a couple of years ago. It's called The Fight Before Christmas. Not The Night.
The Fight.
But The Fight Before Christmas, though.
Okay.
Yeah. This was going to be a good one. Yeah. I think Scott Baio was in that one.
Okay. Well, then it's Scott. He hasn't done anything in a while, but he's out there. We all remember Scott.
Baio, right? I love him. Like I said, Trump loves him too,
Chachi. I love Chachi.
You got it too. Electric cars. Ford said this year they'll lose $4.5 million in sales with electric cars. Are you ready for the electric cars, Matt Cassane?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody still does this, but I have a car that I bought years ago. It didn't have an engine in it, so I still had to use my feet like Fred Flintstone to start the car. I don't know. It cost me $30.
Yeah, there you go. I can't get into that electric car either because you know what that is? That's called control, and they can shut that car off anytime they want to. So no electric cars for me. Matt, you must be happy for the actors. The writers' strike is finally done. Were you happy when you heard that news?
You know what, man? I worked on one commercial over the past year. It was for TD Ameritrade, and my part was, Tone, I had a very important part. This is a stretch for me, okay? This is a stretch. I played a lazy guy, laying on his couch, reading a book. After about 3 or 4 pages, he starts to fall asleep. He takes his glasses off, falls asleep. His little high school teenage kid comes up, his little daughter, and pours a bucket of water over his head. It's a great scene. It was a big stretch for me, buddy.
Big stretch for you. The
You're
falling
welcome.
asleep part. The falling asleep part. Oh, see, but you happy that they got to be happy. The writers have to be happy. The people are going back to work, right? It's got to be good for the writers and actors.
It's great. Yeah, it's good for everybody, man, because we're not going to have anything to watch. It's all going to be reruns, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And when do you think we'll start having new shows?
Hopefully soon, man. I think they just got to get in there. We got our friends down at Cinespace here in Chicago. They're ready and they're just ready to go and start working again. So they're all waiting. So they're going to be working super long hours. So whatever you do, don't go to Cinespace and walk around and bother those guys because they're going to be very, very busy. So just stay away.
Yeah, it's got to be good. I was watching a documentary. We got Matt Hussein, funny man, Matt Hussein with us. War on Disco. Did you see this on? I think it was on A&E documentary. Very cool. Steve Dahl all over the thing, of course, because of Disco Demolition back there. But man,
oh yeah. Well, you and I love. We both love Steve Dahl, and I know that you and Anthony Melchiotti, you guys were both friends with Steve back in the day. You guys
why we got on Star Search.
You guys had a band. You guys both had a band together, and Steve was like your manager.
Yeah, well, Steve got us into that, helped us out, get us into South by Southwest, and then we got into Star Search, which was a great show. It's like
that's very cool.
I remember, yeah, we lost by a quarter of a point, and then we had some interest with Gene Simmons with Simmons Records. But that was all because of Anthony Melchiotti. Anthony was the genius behind that. The marketing, the songs, that was all him. But Steve Dahl was all over that disco stuff. When you were a looper, I was a Coho guy, and I was a disco guy. I did end up liking disco as I got older, but at that particular time, I was cranking my Cheap Trick, I was cranking my Ramones, I was cranking my Bay City Rollers, which I know we're both fans of. What was your take on the whole disco thing at that time when you were growing up, man?
Well, we were all getting tired of it. I mean, I think it peaked around '77 with Saturday Night Fever and the Bee Gees, and I think we all.
I love the Bee Gees prior to the disco, and then I love the disco stuff, and I've always been a Bee Gees fan.
But I think what happened was it was just too much. Same thing happened to the rock band Kiss. For like 5 years, it was nonstop Kiss, 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 and then terrible movies and solo albums and action figures. It just was like too much, and everybody was just like, come on, man, give us something new. Even though I love Kiss to this day, they even say themselves, like, it was just too much. I mean, Kiss lunchboxes, come on. But anyway, the disco thing, what happened was, and I'm not saying anybody out there watching is a burnout, okay? Right. But in my opinion, it was sort of like the revenge of the burnouts. A little bit. That was part of it. Rockers, burnout. You didn't have, just because you liked rock and roll didn't mean you were a burnout. No, let's get that straight. Let's get it straight. Get it straight.
You were speaking of Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, November 2nd, 1974. Is it? Or 77? I can't read my writing. But Kiss played Maine West High School in this.
Yeah.
Very, very. From the Hotter Than Hell tour. Whoever thought that band would just explode the way they did. Mark, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to Ocean Spit, pal. We did talk about the Beatles now and then. The documentary came out by May Pang about the Lost Weekend.
I saw that. I just watched that.
Now, what did you think? I mean, wow. Harry Nilsson, Mickey Dolenz, they were just getting in fights. Didn't they go into a bar and heckle the Smothers Brothers, and that's how it all starts, something like that? Did you hear that whole story?
I don't remember exactly what happened, but all I know is that, like, all these kind of like, poppy guys like Mickey and John and Harry Nilsson, I mean, their songs were pretty poppy. It was funny that they were hanging out with Alice Cooper.
Yeah, at that time. Which Alice Cooper, man, he comes out looking like that, but he's a golfer, he's an Italian guy, he drinks milk. He was like, he completely opposite, but they say that opposites attract. And you know what? I always loved John Lennon. He's my favorite. I think John Lennon would be rolling in his grave right now to find out what's going on with his world and peace and love and everything that he always always pushed. And then unfortunately, how he had to die like that, it's pretty sad. But I'm just glad they got May Pang got her story out. It was very, very cool. I think May Pang was good for John because then it brought him back together with Yoko, which that's who he wanted to be with anyway.
Well, the best part of that whole movie, like I said, is those guys were all just like drinking like fish,
Yeah.
And then Paul showed up and tried to like deliver this message from Yoko to John that, maybe it's time for you to come home, get out of Los Angeles. You're getting in all these fights. It's a bad PR thing, and so eventually John came home and lived in New York and had a little son Sean with Yoko, and lived kind of a quiet, reserved life, which was something that he enjoyed being a house husband and baking bread every day. And then in 1980 he went back into the studio, put out the record, and we all know the rest. It was a terrible tragedy.
Right. Also, if we do remember, because John was so depressed after Yoko, that Elton John got him out and saying whatever gets you through the night, and brought him to do a performance at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
which was very cool. First time he came out to a live audience, and that was Elton John helping another friend. It was very, very cool. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. It's time for birthdays, folks. That's right. Michael Landon from Little House on the Prairie or Bonanza, whose real last name is Orwitz, Orowitz, Michael Landon. Former drummer for one of the greatest bands ever to come out of Chicago, Pez Band. Mick Rain celebrating a birthday. Loved Pez Band. Please be somewhere tonight. David Schwimmer of Friends turns 57 years old today. Burt Lancaster, one of the great actors, celebrating a birthday. From the old band Tough Love and Bitch, and now they're in the Bad Reputation band, a tribute to Joan Jett, and they're also now the Blondie tribute band. Laurie Coons celebrating a birthday. Laurie, happy birthday. Kendall Jenner, 28 years old, and she's almost a billionaire. 28 years old. Unbelievable. Colin Kaepernick, piece of garbage, shouldn't even be mentioned on this show, but he's 36 years old today. Man who knelt during the national anthem and his football career was completely over. Roseanne Barr turned 71 years old, and congratulations to Roseanne Barr. ABC lawsuit, she won her $4.5 million that ABC paid to her because they stole her show away from her. Rightfully so for Roseanne Barr. What'd you think about that?
I just hope to God that she doesn't sing anymore. That's all I wish for.
The national anthem. How you doing? Bobby Bandolino in the house. What's up, buddy? Bandolino Music, Shorewood, Illinois. Buy local, shop local. They have a great studio there. They got guitar lessons, drum lessons, all that stuff. You got to check out Bobby. Hard working. Here's a guy, buy local, shop local. Him and his family, they bust their
Tone.
ass. They do a great job. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, I thought you were done. I forgot. I was going to tell you a quick little cute story about last January when we were having that real bad cold snap. It was like below zero for like a whole week.
Yeah.
I needed to go over to Ace Hardware here in Villa Park, and it's owned. Are you ready for this? Yeah. Ace Hardware in Villa Park is owned by Lou Manfredini, Mr. Fix-It.
Mr. Fix-It. There you go.
Yeah, and he's had it for 10 years. Now I've been going into this place for over 20 years, and I've never seen Lou in there. So I went over there to get a new filter one cold January morning. It was so cold, I think even all the schools were closed because all the pipes were bursting and stuff. Right, so I went over there, and I see a WGN News truck in the parking lot, and I'm like, what's going on over here? I walk in, there's Lou Manfredini, and there's Annabella Val, and they're shooting a segment, where you can come and get snow blowers at this Villa Park Ace Hardware. And anyway, so just a cute little story because I didn't know if a lot of people out there don't know it, but Lou Manfredini owns the Villa Park Ace Hardware.
Very cool. And Ace Hardware, one of the best, our sponsor of our show. You got to love Norwich, Des Plaines, Warrenville, Evergreen Park. Buy local, shop local. Ace is the place. Been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friends from Ace. Matt Cassane, couple more birthdays. Dolph Lundgren, 66 years old, from the Rocky movies. Charles Bronson celebrating a birthday. Catherine Johns, wasn't she from radio or TV? I think she's from radio, right? Catherine Johns?
Yeah, I think she's a radio. Yeah, you know who else has got a birthday is Terry Hemmert.
Tammy Hemmert. I think it's her birthday, or she's celebrating 50 years with WXRT.
That's
50
it.
years. Matt, do you imagine how many radio guys last or women last that long with a radio station? Terry
That
Emmert that does the Beatle thing on Sunday still. You got to love her, man. 50 years with WXRT.
yeah.
Very, very cool.
I still listen to Breakfast with the Beatles every Sunday.
I love Breakfast with the Beatles. Another one of my favorite British actors. He's not with us. He played Sherlock Holmes, the great Jeremy Brett. Sullivan would have been 96 years old today. And one of the great golden voices of our time from Jay and the Americans, the original Jay Black, celebrating a birthday here too, folks. Here on Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. We got about another 10 minutes or so. Matt
Hey, Tone,
Cassane is in the house.
I'm sorry, man. I just gotta say one thing, man. If you don't know it, Tony has had a few bands over the years and great rock bands. And one of his great bands was called 1313. We were talking about it before with Anthony Melchiotti, and you guys have a video up on YouTube from about 10 years ago at the Thirsty Whale reunion. And the great Cliff Johnson from Off Broadway comes up and does a bunch of songs with you guys. Now, I encourage everybody to try to find that on YouTube because it's really cool. It's really cool.
Well, thank you. It was fun bringing Cliff up, and I think that was all of Anthony. There he is, the brain again, Anthony Melchiotti putting that together, and Cliff came up. It was a sad story about Cliff, though. I think one of the great singers out of the Chicagoland area, off Broadway, made 2 great records, and even their beat stuff that maybe never been recorded is still great. He's going to go down as one of the greatest. But then I don't think he was actually there. He was there, but he wasn't there, if you know what I mean. But it was just a privilege to be up there. It's a very sad loss to see Cliff, and it was sad. What's sad about the story is he had a record out called Cliff Johnson's Anthology. And if you buy the CD, I think it was 2 CDs at the time, a few years back, there was no off-Broadway songs on there because he sold the rights, so he couldn't reuse his own songs that he wrote. But he will always be known as one of the greatest singers. And I want to hats off to my buddy Jim Cunningham, who's the new singer for off-Broadway. He lives in Elk Grove, we're neighbors. He's a great guy, and you got to give him credit. It's not off-Broadway, but it's still off-Broadway with a new twist. So some people might be a little down on it. I wouldn't be down on it. If you still want to hear the music, Jim does a great job. There's never going to be another Cliff. It's that simple. So this is a new version of it. Go see it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's nice that they keep the music alive.
Exactly. I think that's very important. Matt Cassane is in the house. Bill Murray, another Chicago guy, becomes the co-owner of the Joliet Slammers baseball team in Joliet. Bill Murray. Cheryl Burton from ABC News celebrating 39 years with ABC. Wow. That's amazing that someone goes that long. And my favorite sci-fi monster of all, happy birthday, 69 years to the wonderful Godzilla. I love him. He's all over, man. And next Thursday, we're going to start showing the different rooms and models. But 69 years, the great Godzilla.
How do you like the new Godzilla movies that have been coming out like for the past 10 or 15 years?
No, I like the guys in the rubber suits. I don't like this other stuff. I just don't. It just doesn't do it for me. Hollywood. We're talking about Matthew Perry, Friends. Horrible drown, supposedly. They said there was no foul play. The guy had some substance abuse problems for many, many years. Were you a Friends guy? I never seen the show. I never seen a full episode of the show. I watched it once because I love the Rembrandts. I'll Be There For You, Danny Wilde. But I never really cared for the show myself.
I wasn't a huge fan of the show. It was okay. I would watch it occasionally. But there was a spinoff show that came on. It was on Showtime for a few seasons with Matt LeBlanc, the guy that played Joey on Friends, and it was called Episodes. The show was called Episodes, and Matt LeBlanc actually plays himself. Oh. So everywhere he goes, people are like, "Hey, Joey, do it!" And they're like, "Nah, I don't want to do it. Just do it. How you doing?" It's that whole thing. But you gotta watch it. If you get a chance to see Episodes, you really need to watch it. It's a fantastic series.
That's very good to know. Dennis, our good buddy from Lake Geneva, says 40. That's right, 45 years. Tom Skilling retired from WGN. And he was a guy that we always watched there, folks. Also, seven years ago today, the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. Wow, that will never happen again. That's for sure. And even November 3rd, 1993, the Duets, Frank Sinatra's Duets album, sold 3 million copies. That's the only anything that Frank Sinatra's ever done that sold 3 million copies. Out of all
Wow.
the songs and albums that Frank Sinatra has, Duets was the only one that went big to make big. I know Strangers in the Night was number one, but I don't think it made as much money as Duets did, which I thought Duets was very cool. Duets 2 I wasn't too keen on. But let's go to another guy. Got to hang out with Mancow for a little bit at the Columbus Day Parade. There's another genius. This guy's a genius. Very intelligent guy. Tells it like it is. I know we've both been on his show. I hope he gets another show. What was your opinion of Mancow?
My favorite Mancow story, Tone. He had a short-lived TV show for a few years on Fox, and I was on there quite a bit. He was a huge Chris Farley fan, so I would go on there and do Chris Farley. One day he had Chip Z'Nuff on there, and Chip actually became his regular sidekick. And I went on there dressed up as Chip Z'Nuff. And Chip and I were actually fighting with one another. We were just like, "You're a Jagoff. No, you're a Jagoff. No, you are. You're a Jagoff."
We hail you. We hail you. Hey, Loretta's watching Remington. We did mention a happy birthday to Lori. Loretta, of course, she plays Joan Jett in Bad Reputation. She's watching. We did say happy birthday to Lori, and we'll say hello. Happy birthday to Lori again. Happy birthday, Lori, from Bad Reputation and the new Blondie tribute band too. So Loretta, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yellowstone. Were you a Yellowstone fan? Kevin Costner's not coming back, but I heard Matthew McConaughey is going to be taking the role of that. What do you think?
I saw a couple episodes. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. It was it was decent. I just didn't get into it, but it was all right. But one thing I do want to mention before I forget, because we're getting close to running out of time here, is that you and I were part of Dino's Celebrity Roast.
Yeah. The great late Sharky, Tony Shark LaBarbera came up. We always been Dean Martin fans, and we tried it. We did a couple of shows, couple sold out shows. I think it was a great concept. I think it was just a little too long, but our show. But remember, we had everybody. If I'm Joan Rivers, Joan Jett, Robert.
Yeah.
Loretta played Joan Jett. Ellie played Joan Rivers.
Vince Amore.
Vince Amore played Tony Bennett. Bill Saratella. Everybody was there. It was great. Loretta says Chris Farley loved Joan Jett. Yeah, well, who doesn't love Joan Jett? Absolutely. You got to love Joni. Yeah, I love the roast. We need to do that again. It's funny. Missy Elliott going to be putting out a rock album because they're thinking about putting her, the first rap woman, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm just so sick of these people getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm not putting away talent. They got their talent for their own thing. I got it, but it's not rock and roll. And there's so many bands that need to be put in that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know why Eric Carmen and the Raspberries are not in that Hall of Fame just for the Eric Carmen's songwriting. It's a shame with all these bands. Missy, I don't know anything about Missy Elliott. I don't know anything. I'm sure she's very talented and for what she does, but she's not rock and roll. Why are they doing this, Matt? Will that ever change, in your opinion?
I encourage everybody to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and see all the different types of genres that they have there. They have an incredible display for the Beatles. They have the CBGB's Canopy, the original one that was in the Bowery in New York. They took it down. It's there. You can get a picture in front of it. It looks like you're actually standing right in front of the CBGB's. And there's actually some stuff from the '60s that you can see, like Jimmy Sands from Shadows of Night, and the Buckinghams. There's a whole Midwest section of Midwest rock and roll that it's all included in that. And if you don't remember, I think it was back in 2019. Little Steven from the E Street Band inducted the single Gloria from Shadows of Night into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame singles category. So Jimmy Sands, God bless him, let him rest in peace. Jimmy Sands is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man, which I think is very cool.
Very cool indeed. And Richard Lewis, my friend Ryan Lewis, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well, my buddy. Richard Hamlin came up with a great idea. Change the name of the Music Hall of Fame and stop calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it would probably just change a lot. It would stop a lot of these fucking questions and going on. Hey, we got a top 10 If we can't do a top 10 without David Letterman, and of course you do great David Letterman, just give me a little laugh before we do the top 10. Go ahead.
You know him, you love him. You can't live without him. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the great Tony Ocean. Yeah!
All right, thank you very much. Top 10 things to do when you're broke. Top 10 things to do when you're broke. Who came up with this? You might as well commit suicide with some of the stuff on this list. Build a puzzle comes in at number 10. Number 9, bake. Number 8, window shop like a loser. I can't afford it. Window shop comes in at number 8. Read comes in at number 7, reading. Picnicking comes in at number 6. Call a friend comes in at number 5. Start your own podcast comes in at number 4. Number 3, do a potluck coming in at number 3. Number 2, go to a library. Number 1, hiking and you visit the museum is things to do when you're dead broke.
All
Now,
right.
Isn't there a fee to get into the museum now? Don't you have to
I don't know. I think a lot. Well, I'm not sure which museum you're talking about.
This is just the one that said visit a museum in general. I don't know, folks. It is coming to the end of the hour. Before we do that, don't forget Mama D's bread loaves. She's, of course, Mama D is gone up in heaven, but Natalie's keeping the tradition alive. Mama D's bread loaves got a bunch of great flavors: banana chocolate chip, banana chocolate, pumpkin chocolate chip, lemon, caramel apple, blueberry, apple spice, limoncello. $10 a loaf. Private message me or my sister Natalie Bosch, and $10 proceeds of that $10 go to her favorite animal shelter because you know how much Mama D loved animal shelters. Matt Cassane is going to be at the Moonlight Theater with Kristen Rose Kelly Sunday, November 19th. Moonlight Theater is in St. Charles. 4 to 7 is the hours. $20 to get in. Go to moonlighttheater.com.
Yeah.
Matt. If they want to book you, Matt, Absolute Entertainment, how do they get a hold of you?
Give me a call, 708-606-4187. And don't forget, next week, the biggest week of the year, the McRib comes out.
The McShit comes out. Have you tasted that? That's got to be rat and bugs and dogs and cats, whatever they find. Who buys this stuff? It's crazy. The McShit. That's what they should call it. Anyway, folks, we're coming to the end of the hour, and it's time to thank our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we wouldn't be here. We're talking about our good friends from Ace Hardware, Norwich Displays, Evergreen Park. On Warrenville, folks. That's right. You got to love them. Take advantage of the auto key programming in all their stores. They program cut key cars up to 50% less a dealership. Visit their helpful hub to speak to a certified team member. Download Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. And don't forget, folks, free $10 Ace gift card when you buy a $50 Ace gift card between November 24th and November 26th. We will be Ron Onesti in 2 minutes. I'm finishing the show. I'll call you right back. All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to get our dates for 2024. Anyway, thank you. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Ace, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friend Matt Cassane. Matt, we should do this more often, buddy, because I love hanging with you.
Man.
I love talking with you. I wish you a lot of luck in everything you do. Absolute entertainment. And why don't you leave us with little Donald? Is Donald Trump going to run? Is he going to be the president, the next president of the United States for 2024?
Tony, it doesn't matter what they do. I'll be running the presidency from behind bars if I have to. I will be the president. I happen to know Joe Biden's personal position, and let's just say he's not going to make it. He's not going to be around. Okay? And the huge Republican convention coming up in 2024, it's going to be huge. Everyone's going to be there. Like I said, my good friend Chachi will be there. Take care.
And what is your slogan? What's the big slogan for 2024?
2024 slogan, once again, in 2024 tone, Biden will be hiding. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. We got my good buddy Matt Cassane, Chicago guy, funny guy, does the job. Always get a great thing when you're working with Matt Cassane. I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Hey, speaking of Nick Hodges, take us out.
Time to go. It's the end of the show. See you later from Tony.
Thank you. And Mama D says goodbye, everybody. Buy local, shop local, support local establishments and live entertainment. Great words of Ringo Starr. Peace and love. Love you all, everybody. Have a great day. God bless you. Thank you, Matt Cassane. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. Tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse. Bye-bye, everybody.